No, listening, if you're under 18, this is not for children, okay? I'm tired of not being able to walk past preschools. Hashtag sex offender by accident. Don't poop in a sandbox. No, listening, if you're under 18, thank you.
Niños, escuchen estas palabras mientras que salen de mis labios agrietos. El siguiente programa, aunque esto sea muy divertido para toda la gente, no es para los niños. Como un burro que busca agua fría, un balde, y eso le va a dar toda la satisfacción que necesita, esta agua no es para ustedes. Por favor, vayan donde sus padres. Ayúdelos a limpiar los baños. No vayan a escuchar esto. Es muy importante. Que Dios nos bendiga a los Estados Unidos. Gracias.
Brian McCarthy interview show. Adam is now drinking his Coke. Disco. Listen to that beat. Breaking it down in Uptown. Take your hand and touch it. Touch it. Now rub it. Brian McCarthy interview show. Listen to that beat. Touch it. Now rub it. I wish I could still drink.
Folks, here we are.
Well,
My new voice for the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Brian McCarthy interview show with Garrison Keeler from Lake Wobegon.
Yeah, and where the lakes are always filled with trout, and I'm always knuckle deep in whoever I can find because I've been canceled. He has been canceled.
I
right?
believe he had been canceled, but it was just kind of like a, put the hand on the small of her back.
Just
and
a little raping.
just light petting.
Lake
Unwanted petting.
See, in Lake Wobegon, just a hand on the small of your back, that counts as rape.
Yeah,
very.
If it happens in a Lutheran church.
Yeah, exactly. After ice fishing.
Yes.
But ice fishing. All right, listen. Show's off to a terrible start. My name is Brian McCarthy. How are you?
I would argue it's off to a great
Well,
start.
I mean, it depends
on who you ask.
We live in bizarro world. So everybody, thank you. We certainly appreciate you spending time with us. We know that you have limited hours of your day.
You could be anywhere in the world tonight.
You could be anywhere in the world. That's right. You could be watching Stargate with Kurt Russell and Jay Davidson, the woman from. I just saw that.
Jay Davidson.
Isn't that Jay Davidson? That's the. Remember the movie with a Crying Game?
Okay.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Anyway, whatever. Now we're the show. I'm determined to make the show horrible now at this point.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to the show. My name is Brian McCarthy. That's Adam Hineker. We are so pleased to have you with us. If you are listening, obviously it's a podcast. If you're watching, it's on YouTube. And if you're watching, of course, hit the stupid thumbs up thing or like or subscribe, or you know what, you could even join. And if you're a member, then you get access to the bonus show, which is basically, an hour after every show. And only it's a private thing. It's on YouTube, but if you remember, you'll figure it out. So
it's like in a back room.
It's behind the beaded
curtain.
That's,
that we
yes, exactly right.
Call it.
So that's what's happening now, and so you can do all that on YouTube. And if you're obviously you're listening, you can always rate it and everything, and blah blah blah. But or don't do any of that. I'm not going to know the difference one way or another. But please don't not do it. So there you go.
I'll know.
You will know. Adam's the numbers guy. Adam's the one. He sits there with Adam. We call him Algorithm Adam around here, and by we I mean nobody.
Algorithm.
Algorithm. We call him Hineker math guy.
With one of those little visors,
little
green
green
visor, and like an analog,
green visor and
calculator,
an adding machine.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, here we are. We should probably just get to a little bit of business. If you're noticing behind us, I believe it might be Passover week, but maybe not even yet.
Let's look on the calendar.
We're going to look on the Jewish.
It is.
It is.
I know. Well, no, I know.
It's around here.
I know next week is Good Friday.
Next week is Good Friday, but that is not.
No, I realize
that's the. Well, I mean, but there is. There is. Is a Jew involved? Actually.
Oh, there is.
Well, yeah, the Good Friday.
Oh, Passover's tomorrow, or it starts tomorrow. Is it a period of time?
Okay, it's a period of time. What do they have? Tampons or something? Mm-hmm. Go ahead. No, but did you know that the Last Supper was a Passover Seder? Did you know that?
I did not know.
It's totally true. They all were there, and they had. That's why it all kind of. That's why the timing lines up. Plus, in April is a very transitional weather period in the Nazareth area, And anyway, so that's what we're doing with the background with us.
That's why there's two ladies feeding each other matzah. But you
Yeah.
can't. It's always tricky with the green
I
screen thing
know.
because we like a sight gag,
We do.
but we're blocking it at the
With
same.
our-
So it's kind of like
We should wear green shirts and it'll just go right through us. It would just
Oh,
be-
you know what? We could actually do that, and we would just be two floating
Yep.
heads.
You're almost wearing a green shirt.
almost.
But
See,
it's-
I had to recalibrate things.
Oh, no
for
shit.
this
Wow,
shirt
look
a
at
little, just a little bit because it's got a greenish,
A hue.
a greenish
Olive,
hue to
if
it.
you will. Have you ever been to a Passover Seder?
I don't know that I've ever. If it was Passover,
Well,
I used to work near the synagogue in Jackson Heights.
Oh, yeah.
And I was friends with
Like I know it. Oh, yeah.
I was
yeah.
friends with the president of the synagogue.
Okay. Well, you would know because it's Seder because they have like.
And I don't know if it was a
Bye.
Seder.
See you later, honey.
But it was like one of the major holidays in it, but it was catered to the nines. It was great.
Yeah.
I almost converted.
My friend Brad, his mom wanted him to meet a nice Jewish girl. So this is a long time ago, and his mom paid for the two of us to go to a singles Passover Seder. So I went with Brad to a singles.
Well, you kind of like Jewish girls.
Very much
Don't
so.
you?
I do. As a matter of fact, I was having the memory in Baltimore. We keep all of our Jews in Pikesville and Reisterstown Road. If that's where it's all Jewish. It's like 100%. That's the Jewish area. Pikesville, Reisterstown, and I remember going to ice skating at Mount Washington Ice Rink, where, funny enough, Michael Phelps used to also swim because they had a big pool there. Michael Phelps is from Baltimore. Look at me name dropping. Oh yeah, he's from Baltimore. Yep. And
fun.
Anyway, so we would go, and I remember going there one time and, going ice skating with I think my school or, school probably. And there were a bunch of Jewish girls in their like long skirts and their, and I was like, I was fascinated by them. I was like, the forbidden fruit. Look at him over there.
It's like Crown Heights.
Yeah, just so cute. Yeah. And my first girlfriend in New York, she was Israeli, Sigalit Sassoon. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, but the Seder was funny because it was Brad and I, and we showed up, and everyone else was single, and like Passover Seders. I don't know. I guess it's a I thought it was like a family thing, and maybe you would go to this and also go to your families. I mean, maybe this was like an extra Seder, but it was at this place called Bed, which is over on like 25th Street, and it's a nightclub where everything was a bed. So
I've heard of that. I think they had sex parties there.
Not that night, thank God.
Could you imagine?
Not that crowd. Yeah.
Swinger Seder?
Swinger Seder.
That'd be fun. That's a fun mashup.
Right.
Oh my God.
Where's the brisket? Do you really want to know?
Ooh.
Yeah, but it was really funny because they put us at we were sitting on a bed, and they put tables like around the bed. So we were kind of sitting on the edge of the bed with our legs facing out. And I sat next to this woman who, like, it sounds like I'm making this up, but I remember her telling me about like her cat's kidney infection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we talked about. It was like,
we were like a little on the nose.
Yeah, little, no pun intended. Yeah, exactly. A little on the nose.
Well,
yeah.
You don't even know what you just
Yeah,
said.
well, go ahead and do it.
Go ahead.
But I remember
that's crazy.
This is before I obviously quit drinking, and I remember like at one point there's like ceremonial wine. It's like steps. We do the salt and the something, and they do the I don't know. At one point, pickles come out for some reason.
Yeah, I love the pickle thing.
A plate of eggs.
Jewish folks.
Yeah. It's always like salt and honey and manna. I don't know. But at one point, there's like kosher wine, and there wasn't an open bar for this thing, and like. Jews traditionally, they don't drink, and certainly not like I did. And, and so I remember there was like a rabbi running the thing, and I was like, I was coming up to him. I was like, "Hey, Rebbe, is there like any hooch here we can get into?" And he was like, "Wow, this is like ceremonial, but I guess, we can
the only alcohol was the ceremonial.
It was like the with dinner wine, but it was also part of like the ceremony. I don't know why it had
probably like a sweet wine or something.
It was like
Manischewitz
or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. No, I remember being like a red table wine. It was gross, but it was something. So I remember just chugging that, just being like, "Get me somewhere. Take me away from this Passover Seder."
Somewhere.
So Mr. Mittens, I have to get him dialysis. Mr. Mittens has a kidney that works. That's the good one. We call that.
Even imagine some of the women that you probably.
My mother has rickets. Yeah, that. So anyway, so that's what's going on. So that's why we had the background. So but if you're listening, you're like, who gives a fuck? So anyway, so I didn't want to. I'm having I'm having some. I've been very like upset all week, and I don't even know if this is going to be like necessarily interesting.
Yikes, this is gonna be like therapy.
No, it won't be. It's a story. It's not like therapy. It's just it's real things that are currently happening in my life.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the best way to
Okay.
put it. So, and I just want to burn through it because I do think it's kind of it kind of makes me crazy. So maybe this is cathartic and this
Ooh,
will
yeah,
help me.
please.
All right.
I'm interested.
By the way, I am way overselling this, but okay, so as you may or may not know, we had a leak in our apartment about a month ago, just almost 5 weeks ago tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And we had a leak in the apartment, and the water went in the ceiling, went in the wall, went in the floor, and so the floor is buckling kind of all over the place, you know. And we had to have these giant dehumidifiers. That's why we didn't do a show one day, because we had these fucking dehumidifiers in
Right.
here. That was a
When
while
did we
ago.
do?
It was a month ago.
This was okay.
Yeah, this was a month ago. I
Right.
mean,
Oh, right. The morning that you had texted me and you were like, "There's pounding. They're pounding."
well, that was pounding also. There's a lot going on. That's another thing that's going
There's
on in the
a ton
apartment.
of, like,
There's a lot of
different
Yes.
renovations and construction and
Yeah.
repairs and
I don't want to. I'm surprising my wife with an above ground pool in the living room.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but no diving board. The insurance is a
it's
nightmare.
decked though.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
decked
it's decked, and it's that plastic wood. It's not real wood because
Yes.
anyway, you know, it's environmentally sensitive. It's good, but it you have to power wash it or it gets like moldy.
Mhm.
Anyway, so so we had this flood and there's water. So when the day that it happened, what had happened is our neighbor and for some reason I'm not going to use any names. I'm trying to be like, you know, I'm trying to not necessarily like, you know, say anything, but whatever, you know. What had happened was these people admitted immediately that it was their fault. The water was off in the building and they somehow left the faucet on. And the way apartments work, or you know, I guess things is it's like you have wet over
gravity works.
gravity, right? Exactly. But you have wet over wet. So for example, my kitchen is like below somebody's bathroom or bathrooms can
Oh,
be
really?
kitchens.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because they want to keep all the plumbing consistent in one
Yes.
place.
It's not necessarily always a kitchen above you, but it could
It's
be
some kind of
it's
plumbing.
something with
kitchen,
plumbing.
Yeah, kitchen, bathroom, you know, wet bar perhaps. So anyway, so they immediately said we left the water on and it's our responsibility. And the guy said, and this is where I'll get into it. He goes, I want to pay for it because I don't want my insurance premium to go up. And apparently they've had claims and whatever it was. Now I immediately did not want, and I was very friendly with this guy, and yeah, listen, it's a shame. It really is a shame, but I in my heart, I have every right to be like furious. So I immediately, Jocelyn and I were here, and he goes, we get this text message, and I didn't want to do it because number one, I know it's going to be expensive because it's water damage and it's the ceiling and it's the wall and it's the floor, and I already knew like
you didn't want to do it, meaning getting the insurance involved, or what do you mean?
I wanted to submit it to insurance.
Got you.
I did not want to.
You didn't want to keep it. You didn't want to handle it in the streets like he
yes,
wanted.
I didn't want to do.
You.
Yeah, I did. This wasn't like getting dinged in the parking lot at Walmart. You know, like I wanted to, but I also have a desperate need to be liked. And
yes,
I also want to, I don't want to be and I also, look, you can never count somebody else's money. You know what I mean? But I also, I, in my mind, whatever the dollar amount is going to be, they may not be thrilled about it, but they can afford it. And also if they're admitting guilt out of the gate, I was just kind of like, all right, if that's what the guy wants to do, that's what we're going to do. Now, so that happens. And now, so we get now some text messages are going back and forth. It's my wife mainly and the guy, and they're kind of going back and forth. And I mean, nothing bad, just kind of like so at one point he goes, get a contractor. So there's a guy in our building. He came in, he gave us a quote for something else, which was hilariously expensive. So I'm like, we're not even going to bother over here because it's going to be too expensive. So we ended up getting a quote from our old, I know this is really boring, I'm going to try and pull out of this, but out of our old, we had some problems in our apartment back in Brooklyn, like over 10 years ago, where we had a sewer line back up and we had to move out for 4 fucking months. It was crazy. The 4 of us lived in a Sheraton in a room that was like 80 square feet. It was like being in the witness protection program. And anyway, so we called that company. They came in and they came in and they did a moisture reading and they went over and they looked at the floor and they buckled. And you could see in the ceiling there's cracks in the seam and you can see the damage. You can see it around. And they gave us a quote of just over $50,000. So like 52 grand to do the work. And now, so I have to say to this person here, I am going to need a check for 52 grand.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, all this stuff in the house, all the stuff on the wall, all my stormtrooper helmets, they have to go somewhere.
Right.
Sofa, everything has to be moved out of
And the
here.
humidity has to be just right.
You can't, no, you don't want to warp an Empire Strikes Back hero helmet. If they're called heroes and stunts, I'll get into that on the next show. Heroes are close up, stunts are farther away. So they're kind of background helmets, but I digress. So anyway, so the guy, we have to now have somebody come in, and they come in and they are going to move all their stuff, and they come in and they give a quote, and that quote is almost $10,000. Okay.
To move everything into storage,
you move storage and then move it back in, take everything apart. Cause there's things to disassemble. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. I don't know.
To wrap,
a lot of bubble
wrap and alphabetize.
Yeah. And some of this stuff, this is really boring, but some of the stuff in here is really old. So like, we're going to take that stuff and just leave it in the house. We're just going to put it in like bedrooms and shit, because the third part of this expense is we can't live here for a month to maybe 6 weeks. So there's 3 different sort of, checks to be written. There's contractor 52. There's the moving, let's just call it 10. And then the third is the, is living somewhere.
Yeah.
And
room and board.
Because you couldn't, when this work is going to be done, they're pulling up all of the flooring. They have to repaint. They have to do, everything has to be completely taken out.
Hey, you don't want to be quarantined you don't want to just have like a bedroom party.
Well, no, bedroom party. Well, we won't even be able to get into
because
the
you wouldn't
kitchen.
be able to, you'd be like just doing takeout. Yeah, that would be.
No, it's just not, it's not tenable.
Uncivilized.
Uncivilized. Right. So anyway,
or you could just like have dinner on a pile of rubble every night.
Yeah. Like the Flintstones.
Yes.
Hey, Barney.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Sheetrock dust.
Hey, folks, because his name was Barney Rubble. Okay. So
I didn't even think that. I didn't even know what I said.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know. It's usually best that way.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, and now what I'm going to tell you about now, this just happened this past Monday. So this person now sends us a text message and says that this number seems very, very expensive. We're just talking, by the way, we haven't even gotten into that. We'd already sent the 10 grand, and we'd already started talking about finding a place to live. And by the way, a place to live, like our insurance company they have to put you up by law in, like, we're in a 3-bedroom. They have to put you up in a 3-bedroom. That's like that's the law. So that's about $700 a night, $800, maybe $900 with taxes and everything. So you're looking at 40 days, that's $40,000. So this all told, we're about $100 grand.
Because it has to be like a furnished.
Yeah.
Right. You can't, because I'm thinking like $700 a night seems steep, but it's not just for us. It's not just for another vacant 3-bedroom apartment.
No.
It has to be like ready for so it's like going into a hotel.
Well, it's like extended corporate housing.
Sure.
That kind of thing.
Homewood suites.
Something. I wish there's no home. And also here's another thing, where we live, it has to be commensurate with like our standard of living. And there's not even a fucking Homewood suite. I don't even know where one of those things are. There's nowhere near here.
You probably go to like Long Island City.
Yeah. Okay.
Go across the river.
Yeah. Less said, the better. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're looking at about 110 grand, right? And again, it's a lot of money, but it was not my idea to have this person pay for it.
Yeah.
And also it's going to be expensive. And so the person says, listen, this is all in a text message to my wife. He goes, this is really expensive. And this person has a contractor that I am familiar with, because when we moved in here 3 years prior, we had this contractor that does a lot of work in the building come down and give us a rate to stain the floors. By the way, these floors are pretty much kind of brand new. They were just stained and redone like 3 years ago. So we had this contractor come down to look at the floors and the walls and to do some painting and hang some TVs, which ended up falling out of the wall. Because if you really listen to the show, my contractor ended up being an Albanian or maybe Armenian. I always get him confused. But
Albanian. This one was Albanian.
Albanian pedophile. Yes. Orhan.
Which is, I think some of the best kind. The best kind of pedophile.
Albanians. I think if you're Albanian, you don't even know you're a pedophile. He's just like, what? They're beautiful boy. I want a beautiful boy for me. Right. Why? Hair is disgusting. Any old man is gay. Little boy is teaching. I'm teaching the boy like a Greeks. So anyway, it's the Socratic method. So anyway, so we end up, this contractor that he had mentioned is hilariously expensive. Like the guy to the point where
his guy is super hot.
Yes, this guy. And by the way, but what the guy says to us, this is just this past Monday, he says, hey, I'd like for my contractor he says that he can do the work and he wants to come down and look at it and blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. This is where everything went off the rails because number one, if that's what the guy wanted to do, he had a month ago could have said on the Monday after all this happened, he could have said, hey guys, listen, you guys know I have a contractor. I want him to come down and take a look at it.
When did the quote come in? When did your quote that he considered high come in?
It came in like a week and a half after the thing happened. So
gotcha.
It's all the time lines up, you know what I mean? But
but then all the other expenses sort of adding up to where he felt like it was too much.
Exactly right. Okay. Now, and again, it is a lot. I agree. Yeah. That's why I wanted to go with the fucking insurance company. But so he says, I want to have this guy come down. And my wife and I told my wife, I said, listen, I don't think it's a good idea. And here's a couple of reasons why. Number one, like I've already agreed with this contractor that they're coming in to do the work. They're already
locked in.
They're already locked in.
Oh yeah. So what's the
well, and whatever this guy says now, it's going to be in my mind specious because it's kind of like now he's sort of representing the guy upstairs, the guy that, the other guy. And it just doesn't, it's like, you're too late in the game to come in. And also I stood with the guy when they came in and did like the moisture reading. I went around with the guy and I watched him take this little like electronic thing and put it on the floor and be like 45% humidity here, 40% humidity there. Like so I don't know what this guy's going to do. I know he's incredibly expensive and he had the opportunity to bring somebody in. So I tell my wife, I said, let's have a conference call. So we have our first conference call. And we had the conference call and I basically say to him and he's like, look, this is really expensive. And I said, and this is all pretty friendly. I was annoyed, but I was like, it was okay. And, and I was just like, listen, you had to know how much this was going to be. And, we're not going to have somebody come in now, like at a month later and now be like, oh no, you don't even need to do this and this and this. And I'm not going to, this is where we live.
Well, did he understand that there was no backing out of this anyways?
Well,
had that been established?
Well, yeah, he didn't care. That's where now is where you're getting to the good stuff here. So we leave it with, I said to him, this is the first call. I said, listen, I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm not negotiating. I said, this is how it's going to go. You're either going to pay for the move, pay for the apartment. And also he had sent us an email, like, check out this furnished quarters. Like they're a company that my friend recommended. So we checked them out. They're $800 a night. So there's none of this is going to be cheap. Like even at 10 cents on the dollar, it's going to be expensive.
And it doesn't sound like his guy's going to come in any cheaper.
Oh God,
either.
No.
So, but why would
the only reason he would come in cheap is if he didn't do the same quality or the same amount of work. And that's like, just it.
Do a more abbreviated, but I wonder if he just wanted more as like a second opinion because he felt like he was getting screwed kind of thing.
Well, that's exactly what he felt. Spoiler alert.
Obviously.
Well, so I said on the phone, look, you're either going to pay for the thing how it is. I have spent like hours and hours and hours of my life, like dealing with these contractors, calling places to live. Like I was here for these estimates with the mover. And in my mind, we did do 2 estimates because we had the guy who works in the building.
Right.
And so, and he told me in a text message, just get a contractor. And we got the least expensive contractor we could find. We did. They're an insurance contractor. I'm fairly certain, I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that this contractor that this guy has doesn't even take insurance. Like he's like a boutique, like cash. Ooh. Never. You don't ever want a contractor that has wearing a sea dweller. You know what I mean? You're like, well, it's a nice yacht master.
Yes.
He's like, hurry up. My helicopter to Montauk leaves in 25 minutes. And one of my,
I got to catch a blade.
Yeah. My third wife is there with our kids, Eleanor and Eustace. So anyway, so we leave it on the call like this. I go, listen, it's either going to be, we're going to take this to our insurance company and open a claim and they'll just bring it to your insurance company. And that's going to be that. Or you're going to pay this thing. Like that's what it is,
Right.
And so we kind of hang up and I wasn't sure. We need to have another phone call. And so he sends Jocelyn another text message. And this text message says, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but it definitely said, I don't want to be, I don't want you to take advantage. I don't want to be taken advantage of.
Ooh.
Yeah, which that's where I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck you. I don't want to be taken advantage of. I want this person. And then this is the greatest part. This is where it gets good. This is what everyone's been waiting for. He says that this contractor who had never even been in our apartment and never saw the extent of the damage, he goes, the guy says he can do it for 20 grand. He can do it in 2 weeks and you don't even have to move out. I'm like, well, isn't that fucking great? By the way, this guy, take advantage of it. I could start ranting in a minute, but so we're on the phone and I'm on the phone with this guy and I'm like, and I'm trying to, I'm still keeping it pretty civil. And I just said, I'm like, I'm not having this argument with you. I'm not arguing about this. You're either going to pay the thing that I said, or we're going to go through the insurance company. Like that's all we're going to do. It's either one or the other. I'm not having this guy come down.
Because I mean, most people wouldn't give them even that option. I mean, if it's just a stranger, you guys know each other, but if it's a stranger, they could just very well go, no, we got to get I mean, I think it's within your legal right to just go, no, we're getting the insurance involved.
Dude,
right?
I was bending over backwards to like make this to help this person because they didn't want because they were their insurance. We had this very funny text message from them and it says, this isn't my wife's first flood. So they had so whatever it is, he's where he's get dropped. I don't care what his situation is. He asked me to do this thing. I said, against my better judgment, I said, I will do this for this guy. And what do I get in return? I get accused of taking advantage of him. Why? Because I get to move out of my house for a month and a half.
Yeah, like you get to have all this fun.
Yeah, I get to. Yeah, it's gonna be fucking miserable. Like it's going to suck. And also, what would really suck is to have your contractor down here and be down here for 2 weeks and like do a shitty job, and now all of a sudden the wood's coming up, and then everyone's gone, and we're gonna sell this place. I wish I could sell it tomorrow, but like we're gonna sell this place, and I'm gonna have like we just want it to look like it looked. You know, that's all it is. And then, well, here's the thing, and this is why there's some people that work in my building. There's one guy who works in my building who's a fucking gossip, and I had mentioned our floor, and again, I'm sure no one at this point is listening, but at my floor is like narrow wooden planks, right there, you know. And I had said in passing, I said, I wonder if we would do wide planked flooring, if it would be shorter time because it's less flooring, it's less wood. Maybe it's cheaper. I was like, I don't know anything about flooring. I just mentioned that to him.
I mean, that's logical because like a gym floor, that's the teeny ones. This is like medium.
Yeah. I call this
less.
I call this is Zoftig Bowling Alley. That's what this is.
Okay, yeah.
So I mentioned, so the guy in the text message goes, and any work that will be done in the exact manner that it was. It's like, dude, the fuck is
wrong? This is the guy?
Yeah, the guy. Yeah. He's a big texting tough guy.
He's like, don't try getting over on me with
me moving out for a month and a half, having all my shit and having to drag my blind guy shit all over the Upper East Side. That's going to be fucking awesome.
It's just the thing that interests me is the gigantic discrepancy, the $30,000 discrepancy in and how one would give an estimate without
you can't. That's why it immediately discounted. And once he said that, I was like, this conversation's over. Like we're not, I'm not haggling.
But you had two estimates. Yeah.
Well, and no, we had one estimate from the Brooklyn contractor, and the first guy was so hilariously expensive to do work over here. I was like, we're just not even going to bother. And also this guy, just to kind of circle back, he could have brought in this contractor the day that it happened. He could have said, hey, listen, I got this guy. He's going to come down. You know him, because I do know him. Bring him down. He's going to look around, and we're going to square this away. And hopefully it's not that big of a deal, whatever it is. But surprise, there's buckling all over the floor, and it's fucked up. And so, and again, it's a lot of money. And I do understand why you don't want to pay it. But like in my universe, if you say you're going to pay something and you say that just out of the gate, like it's my responsibility, I'm going to do it, blah, blah, blah. And here it is, your used to be friend, neighbor, trying to acquiesce to you're like a spoiled child. And I'm trying to just bend over backwards and trying to make things cheaper for you. And, I hope this isn't too much and blah, blah, blah. It's like, go fuck yourself. So anyway, so now at the very end of the call, I said something along those lines. And I just said, listen, we're going to take it to the insurance company, and our insurance company will open a claim and they'll sue your insurance company. And that'll be that. Like I said, I should have done this a month ago. I'm like, you waste my time. I should never have done this. And I wasn't like, fuck yeah. I just was like, dude, but I am so, when I saw that thing where he said, I'm not here to be taken advantage of. I was like, oh, dude, go fuck yourself, dude. You know what, dude? So
I would be, slightly curious, and I know that you already probably paid the company that's actually doing it, so there's no really backing out. But I would be slightly curious to have his guy even look at it and go like,
I wouldn't.
What do you?
No, I wouldn't, because of this. At this point, I guarantee that the guy has said to the contractor, they want to charge me 50 grand, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And this contractor who works for this guy, in order to look like a hero, will come down here and he'll just be like, you don't need to do this.
Knowing he's never going to have to do it.
Or let's say I agree. Okay, so let's say I say, you know what? You can have your guy come look at it. It's a huge pain in the ass. It's a month later, but what more can I do for you? How more can I be of service in your life? How can I make your life any easier? And I agree to have this guy come down. All he's going to do is come down here and go like, oh, you don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. Right. I can patch that. You don't need to paint the whole ceiling. I can just touch it up, and I can do this and that. Like, you don't need, and you don't need any of this stuff.
You do really need like an impartial person,
100%.
Because if you have the guy that's footing the bill and it's not for him.
Yes. Yeah. It's a fucking mess. Like, so, yeah, I mean, there's really, so look, the whole thing is, and like, and Jocelyn was really upset, and, I'm not upset but it was like funny because, and again, not to like get into this person's business, but like at one point I was like, you have no idea the anxiety and stress this is causing us. And he goes like, because, well, us too. I'm like, you don't even have a job. Like, you don't, I mean, whatever. It's like, dude, stop. Like, stop. We're not the world. And again,
we're not measuring dicks here.
Exactly. Like, take,
anxiety
Jesus Christ,
dicks.
I'm not the one I didn't cause this fucking thing. You guys did. And I'm trying to like do the right thing for you because you asked me to. And you come at me like I'm trying to take money out of your pocket. And I'll tell you one more thing, and then we'll leave this alone. When we used to go to lunch together a lot.
You just had lunch with them not that long ago. Around the holidays. I was going to come meet up with you guys. I couldn't make it.
Right. You got it.
Kind of glad
back then it would have been great. It was all hugs and kisses. What you didn't have a crystal ball. You could have been like,
no, I know, but
imagine you lean over to him and you go, listen, in March, make sure the water is turned off. He's like, what? What the fuck?
This didn't happen until March.
Okay. Well, this happened a month ago. So the beginning of March, right? Right around St. Patrick's Day.
I guess I was thinking it was longer ago. Okay.
Yeah, it was right around. Okay. Like, yeah, a month, 5 weeks ago tomorrow. But like, this guy said to me, we would go to lunch. And again, the guy has a very large apartment. I know, there's money. And again, I'm not saying just because somebody has however much money they have doesn't mean they want to spend $1 clearly.
Yeah.
But like the guy said to me a couple of times, he's like, whenever we go to lunch, he goes, you're one of the only friends, or maybe the only friend that you actually pick up the check. Like this guy, when he goes to dinner with people or he does a lot of lunches. Because
they know him as like being
they know him as like,
so,
yeah. And that's
sure.
Yeah. He's got, and he pays for everything. And I said, well, no, I'm not your friend because you take me to lunch. You take me to, I pay, you pay, I pay, you pay. And that's it. And then, so now he comes at me like I'm trying to like take advantage of him. The whole thing.
Like, I paid the check.
Yeah. I didn't
Where was that guy that was praising me for paying the check?
I didn't even want the creme brulee.
And that guy.
Here it comes out. I said, we'll get a tiramisu and split it. But no, you're going to get tiramisu and a creme brulee. And the cookies come with the cappuccino anyway. So what's the point? So anyway, so that's where we are. So now we've already talked to our insurance company. We filed a claim. It's all, and not that there's a silver lining to this, but none of this work is happening until June 14th anyway. So we can get through like graduation and stuff. So there's some time built into this anyway, but it was just, like I said, I mean, I should never, I'm like, I don't even know why I should have just said out of the gate. So you want to make it my fault? It's my fault. I should have said out of the gate, no, we're filing an insurance claim. Mm-hmm. It's going to be better for everybody. But no, I decided to like try and be a nice guy.
Well, I think that's sort of the give take though, too, because if you want to circumvent the insurance company,
Yes.
then there's going to be sort of a tax for that, right? So he might have to pay whatever.
Well, I mean, you pay and also, but I will say this: if, like, for example, like where we're going to end up living, we don't know where that's going to be yet, but it's going to be one of these same places like that this guy recommended. It's
sure, some kind of corporate housing,
right. But because it's
situation.
a big insurance company, they will get a reduced rate. They get like an insurance company rate. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So what I think it seems like from his standpoint is what he thinks is happening is you agree to the terms of, oh, we're going to keep the insurance company out of this. So then he thinks you're going crazy because you agreed to that. He's like, oh no, now they're having a party on my So which is like, it's not an unreasonable thing, but I also think he's not getting great information from I think his contractor is probably a yes man that is looking to appease him.
It's money on the table for
and
this
he's
guy.
Also gonna do not as detailed of a job.
Even when the guy came in, okay, like, you know how wood flooring works? It's got to come down. It has
the same thing happened in my parents' house.
Right, but it has to proof, right?
Okay.
So you have to bring in all the wood and it has to sit in the house for a week so all the wood can kind of settle. So you're telling me you can do that in 2 weeks, and you can also paint the entire apartment and somehow not take all of this shit that's all around us, the furniture and the paintings and the books and whatever, and take all that and put it in the middle of the room and then paint the walls and then hang it back up. It's just, it's not.
He's going to do it like the quick and dirty version.
Yeah.
Probably.
Which I don't deserve because I'm not the one that caused the fucking stupid flood.
But I think the crazy thing about this is like, it's very, so like he left the water on or whatever. The water came back on and the faucet was open, whatever. But like, it wasn't like you came in and there was water coming. Like, this is all kind of like hidden, right?
Well, it came down.
I do remember that. Yes, I am remembering this now.
And actually, to really, okay, so directly
I do remember you.
To the right of me is our kitchen. And this guy, if that water would have come through the kitchen, that would be an additional $100,000 easy, because kitchens are expensive as shit.
Sure.
So luckily, and also, this is another thing, the fucking kitchen is a little damaged. And I decided, like, I'm not going to be a fucking crybaby about it. The contractor actually said to me, he's like, look, we can make this kitchen back to about 95%. He's like, is that going to be acceptable? Like, are you okay? And I said, you know what? That's fine. So like, here I am. In my mind, I'm like, I just saved this fucking guy $100,000. You know, it's all, so the whole thing just sucks. And it's a shame because I do feel very maligned, you know, and especially because when I'm accused of taking advantage of somebody, I take it.
Yeah. Well, I do think, and I will make this point.
Make your point.
I wonder if he is also, and I think that he probably is factoring in a little bit of because the fact of the matter is there are a lot of contractors that will come in and they see a nice Upper East Side apartment and they do kind of like, they pad things a little bit, right? That they go,
and that's the guy that did the leak. That's his guy.
But he's also in this case doing that where, But so I get it. Like, I get what he is saying, but I also think like,
But also, if I'm in the room, if I tell you I'm in the room with the contractor by the way, this was a mitigator before anything else. If I'm in the room with the mitigator and they're taking readings on the floor and telling me,
so this is just somebody like surveying
the damage. Yes. So, this wasn't even the contractor. This was the person that came in. They brought in the dehumidifiers and they brought in the fans. And then in order for them to figure out like how much humidity was, like, for example, the guy came by one day and there was still too much humidity in the flooring or moisture. Well, that's humidity, same thing, I guess, in the floor, where he had to come back the next day. So like if I'm telling you, if you're trusting me enough to get a contract, blah, blah, and I tell you, look, I'm in my living room with the guy, there's pieces of wood that are buckling off the floor. The guy's showing me there's humidity with this little doohickey thing. Like, if you're that concerned about it, then you should have been jumping down here a month before. Like, anyway, the whole thing sucks. I do not wish this person, I just
ill will.
Yeah. Ill will. Yeah, exactly. I'm so annoyed by all of it. And I'm just glad that, our kids are done being in school with each other, and but
an awkward ride in the elevator.
I just had not for me. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care.
I can't really see
I can't see very well.
See that it's him.
But I will promise you, if he's in the elevator, and I will not get on the elevator. I'll go, and I will say the elevator could be full of people. I'll go. I'll take the next one.
I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll take the next one, folks. And don't ask me why there aren't enough floors in this building, folks. So, boy, whoever just stumbled upon this show is like, Jesus Christ, the fucking insurance debacle show.
Yeah, it's like the People's Court.
It really is. Judge Wapner. So anyway, so that's what. So now we're at the point now where we're going.
So what are we going to insurance?
Yes. It's already claims been filed. They're going to have to go there, and what's going to happen is our insurance company will go to his insurance company.
Sure,
and they'll just.
But yes. Even though you're going to insurance this late in the thing,
well,
they can't like resurvey and then hire a new contractor or anything like that, right? Like they have to just pay the amount.
They've already come through again. They've already come through again just to make sure that the work. Look, there is a chance that they may only have to take out 3/4 of the flooring. I've heard that you have to take out,
but the insurance is there. The company is involved in that, right? Like they send their person. Yes. I mean, so
there's
in a way
adjuster.
That is like there you go, adjuster. So in a way there is sort of an impartial
100%
mediator rather than handling it the way that you guys were. So that's at least good for him because then he's not being taken advantage of. But I mean, I don't know if it's a situation where he's going to get dropped or he's going to need you know what I mean?
By the way, I'll take things I could give a shit about for $500, Alex.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't. It's like, and again, I knew that the dollar amount was going to be a lot. He should have known it's going to be a lot. And like, just to even ask is a huge ask. And I was just like, you know what? Sure. Because I trusted that this person would trust me enough to like do the thing that I said I was going to do. Because unlike this person, I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm certainly not a perfect person. I'm deeply flawed. I mean, some people say I'm too handsome, and and
it's almost impractical.
Yeah, people are like, look at those cheekbones. God damn it. How'd you get so lucky?
You're almost unapproachable.
Yeah, exactly.
You're so.
It's so funny. Yeah, I sometimes think I'm so handsome. It's like I'm ugly. You know what I mean? Like I put people.
Some people are like that, like fashion models.
Yeah. This kind of bone structure does not exist in heaven or on earth.
Mm-hmm.
So or on earth. So anyway, so that's what's going on. So we're working on all that.
Wow.
So, hopefully that's the last time we'll ever discuss that on the show.
We spent 42 minutes on that.
I know it's a lot, guys. I apologize. I knew it was going to be a lot, and
I mean, I had a lot of questions because I'm interested in stuff like that. Like,
it is real life, and I do think it is odd. It is vaguely compelling to hear about this kind of thing, but it is funny because I never really think about. I mean, I never think about what we're going to say on the show before the show, but I have been walking around my house like talking to myself about this for 5 days now, and I'm just like maybe
muttering.
Yeah. Oh no, not muttering. Full on
conversation. That talking you're both halves of.
Talking to a Pella and another thing, Pello on the couch. So that's it. I am just beyond annoyed. I think like I feel like a sucker, but here we are. Whatever. It's fun. At least I'm still who I am. So that's the good thing about it. I'm still me. So hooray.
You gotta be you gotta be your authentic self.
Yeah. So let's move on to something else. I know, right? That's our show, folks. So I do want to talk about next week. Now, for those of you, this is the free show. So we have Hollywood Howard. His birthday is a week from today. So there's been a slight change in plans. And I'm kind of loath to say this because sometimes these people sometimes cancel, although I'm hoping not. I mean, obviously, because I'm talking about it.
Right.
But so we have on our show, we are going to be celebrating Howard's birthday this Wednesday because we have a woman named Audrey Hollander who is a well-established adult film star. She's the anal extreme queen or queen anal. Maybe I'm messing those words up. Extreme anal queen.
Wow,
probably?
I didn't realize that she was.
Yeah,
we were in the presence of. We would be in the presence of greatness.
You better wear a collared shirt.
I hadn't heard of her.
We should dress like Mario Bosco and wear like top hats.
That'd be great.
And multicolored bow ties with little vests. Sure. So I bet when you do these movies, your CUDA hurts after the movies make. Do you gotta sit on an ice pack or something? I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of that guy. I feel like an asshole when I do that. But it just, by the way, I was on Instagram just before you got here and he popped up in my feed. He may have, that would be awesome if that fell.
It's keeping chairs out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Don't
You're
call
like Brian, get the rug
go
clean
like cops.
wherever you want.
Jesus Christ.
Brian, you get that rug clean.
I knew that was going to happen too. It was too close to my fucking
Well, it's
hand.
it's better if you knock it over that way instead of on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
So
that would be a
it's
disaster.
fine. It's okay. I can't be angry. I can't stay angry at you. I can't stay mad.
Audrey Hollander. Yeah, I'm looking her up.
That's her.
And,
so anyway,
gangbang.
Yeah, she really gets in there. She's
gangbang girls 30 for girl 35.
Yeah, she's in 35. Which is good because I thought right around 29 they started to lose the narrative
Sperm
thread.
bank overload. Yeah, I do too.
But once they got to 34, they kind of got their sea legs back.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
So she's coming on the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to have her on as a guest, sitting here with us, and then we're going to have Howard off camera, but probably with a mic in front of him, and he'll sort of watch the show. But we're going to have a birthday cake for
maybe
Howard.
Pull it out, and we can maybe get him. We can get him in there.
Well, if you
Try
can,
to
you
get him
can.
in there.
I want to make sure that our guest is, front and center, and but whatever you can do. So, anyway, so that is what we're working with in terms of Hollywood Howard. He's going to come. It'll be Wednesday, and we're going to get a big. I've actually talked to the bakery already. We're going to have a big birthday cake for him.
Okay,
we're going to bring it out. I'd have enough candles on it, but I don't want to set off the fire alarm.
He's 75.
He's
right?
75. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe I should. You know what I am thinking of doing, and I might as well just talk about it on the show for a minute. Will you look to see if Audrey Hollander has any sex toys, like a pocket pussy or anything?
Okay, let's see.
Sorry if I don't mean to use the derogatory term for it. Maybe it's a hand vagina or something, or a pleasure tube, as it were.
Whoa, cyber skin pile driver.
Okay.
Anus and $230.
Yeah, I don't want to spend $230. Is there anything for $2.30? Maybe some sort of budget. Maybe a recalled pocket pussy, something something that causes
Hollander DPs
testicle tearing.
No, it's like she just has the one, but it's the way they do the model of they do the model.
Oh yeah, they put silicone up your asshole and everything, and
crazy.
I know it really is crazy.
The fact that that's out there for
absolutely. I wonder though, I wonder if it's like a Japanese video game where like you have like contestants and they have sex with different fake vagina or assholes or whatever, and you have to pick which porn star it is.
Yeah, that would be great if like a blind taste test kind of thing.
Yeah, something like. But you'd have to actually, in order for that to really work, you'd have to have sex with the actual person, like a control. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you'd have sex with their man-made, the silicone, whatever you call that thing, the mold of the interior of a vagina. So my idea, maybe I'll look around and see if I can find some merch, because it might be fun to give him like some and have her sign it or something. You know?
Kind of like almost Bachelorette style, maybe like penis straws or something.
Yeah, whatever maybe she has cocktail napkins. At Howard's age, maybe it's some sort of like a cane doily. No, he gets around, man. If I look like Howard when I'm 75, I'll be thrilled. I think it's because he wears. It's all those jackets he wears. He stays very.
You think it's the layers?
Yeah, I think he's layers. Be funny if he takes all those layers off and he like turns like really old, like like some kind of, they're like magical coats that keep him young, And he gets under his last one. He's like Benjamin Buttons. He's like, no, give me back my coats. But it doesn't make him young again. He's stuck. He's stuck with just a blazer and looking like a 90-year-old person. So anyway, she'll come on Wednesday, and that's going to be
promoting something.
I don't know. I was, Lainey reached out to me, and I don't think.
Let me look on X. I'm sure they'll.
I don't think she lives in New York.
Right.
So I don't know what she's up to. I don't know. Like I said, I will do a bit of a one-handed deep dive, if you will.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Later on, as we get closer to Wednesday, but yeah, it'll be fun. So if you're going to watch the live show, there will be no live show next Friday. It'll be a live show on Wednesday. We might still do a show on Friday. I don't know. But we'll have to see what happens. No, because, we might do MLC a week from today.
He doesn't know about that, though.
Well,
so
even if by the way,
we're putting it out there.
I might as well just announce it anyway, because it doesn't matter if he knows about it yet or not. If he wants me to come
I had told him that we would come on soon, and then I'd give him a date. So I'll pitch him next Friday. So maybe next Friday.
We'll pitch him next Friday.
Week from today.
That's the Misery Loves Company podcast with Kevin Brennan, rising young star in the podcast industry. So that'll be that. What are you looking up? More stuff about her?
I'm just looking up to see if Lane, because a lot of times Lainey will post like her.
I don't know.
Lainey's girls.
Maybe she's in town for there's always like an erotic convention in New Jersey or something, like over at the Meadowlands or something. Some New Jersey XXX or something. Mm-hmm. I remember one time I actually went to one of those 30 years ago, maybe a little less than that, but more than 25 years ago.
Exotica.
Yeah, it was at Jacob Javits, and there was this lawyer that I was working on something with, and he and his wife worked together, and I called his wife on Monday morning, and we were just making small talk in the office, and she goes, "Oh, what'd you do this weekend?" And I was like, "Yeah, it sounds crazy, I know, but my girlfriend at the time, we went to this erotic thing, the New York Sex Expo or something." I said, "Oh, it was crazy. There were all kind of, people there with, sex people and dildo shows and everything else." And I told her all about it. And she goes, "Oh, that was interesting." Half an hour later, I get a phone call from her husband, and he is fucking screaming at me. He is yelling and yelling and yelling. He's use, and he's got one of those guys I don't know. He sounded like he was in the mob, but I know he's Jewish. He's kind of
a bit like the New York tough guy. He was a New York tough guy.
He put on his New York tough guy voice.
Maybe he was a mafia lawyer or something.
Yeah,
or a dry cleaner, mafia dry cleaner.
He was you go out talk to the woman, the mother of my children, about fucking butt plugs. What the fuck is wrong with you, Brian? Just a mother of my. He kept saying mother of my children. The mother of my children. You can talk to her about what, anal beads? You piece of shit. She don't need to hear that. It's her job to work with you. Keep it professional.
Wait. So rewind really quick, just to clarify. This was a lawyer that you were working on a project with?
I got rear-ended by a bunch of Hasidic Jews in my pickup truck.
Oh, this was your lawyer represent. Yes. Okay, I thought when you said a project, I thought you meant
I don't know. I didn't really want to, another.
Gotcha.
After my insurance story,
I just wanted to clarify because I didn't know if this was a creative collaboration.
This was a guy who was friends of a friend of mine.
Gotcha.
I remember going to his funny thing. I remember going to his office. It was way downtown, financial district, and I got into his elevator, and I guess he works for a firm.
Hold on.
Hold on. What's up, guys?
In real time, we've got.
Okay, thank you, Gustavo. Have a nice night. See you Monday, right? Somebody. Okay, cool. Bye. All right, so
those are the guys that were cleaning up the demo.
Yeah, there's another construction project, and the other side.
That's a totally separate.
Yeah,
I can't keep all the projects straight.
We're building a new twin towers right here in the old apartment.
Freedom Tower.
Freedom Tower. It's going to be bigger than ever, and my neighbor has told me he'll pay for it, so it's going to work out great.
Jeez Louise, but you're going to keep the insurance companies out of it.
So I remember I got in this elevator for this lawyer, and it's the elevator is only for this law firm, and as soon as it closes, all of the walls around it have like kind of press releases of the judgments they'd received.
Okay.
And I remember looking at this one, and it was Finkelstein, Cohen, and Finkelstein awarded $90 million for girl who ate lead paint, and it was just a picture of a girl with paint on her face. I was what the fuck? Yeah, that's the kind of lawyer.
Lead paint.
That's the kind of lawyer it was.
Some real ambulance chasers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I went to his office for my first consultation, when I left, he actually gave me a neck brace.
Yeah.
He goes, "Wear this."
Oh my god.
He goes, "Wear this around."
It's fucking good.
Yeah.
From the neck brace closet.
Yeah. He pulled them out.
They probably have,
it'd be great.
Probably has the name of their law firm monogram.
Yeah. Exactly. He's going in the back. He's pulling out crutches and braces hilarious. And slings and all.
Right.
He's "Where? I know I got some neck braces in here somewhere.
Right.
Don't wear it to no fuck party and tell my wife about it. Don't do that. I hate that.
Wait. So the guy that yelled at you, he was a lawyer, or the wife?
He was a lawyer,
and he was the lawyer.
But she was also a lawyer.
But she was also a lawyer.
They worked together. They shared.
And you just were having some fun.
Yeah,
small talk.
Because she was fun.
The mother of his children.
Yeah, the mother of my children. You're just gonna talk about fucking Viagra?
People are weird. I think it's a machismo thing. It's maybe, but you said he was Jewish, right?
Yeah, but
I would say maybe it was a Catholic thing, but
no. You're right about the New York thing. It's a way. I've seen that when I was in LA a couple of times, guys that are and it's never, by the way, it's never people that live in Manhattan. It's always Long Island or out in Jersey or something. It's always those guys are the real duts, and it's Jewish, Italian, maybe Irish, maybe not really. We're like, oh, you're dead to me. We like to authorize relationships. We just
the Irish dudes are like peripheral. They might have like some Italian friends, but like not.
We look at them like, oh,
because you can't be a made guy.
No, we can't be. No,
if you're Irish.
No, I can't. I can be an associate of the family.
Be an associate.
You want
to kick up to the boss.
You can't whack a guy and take my wife to a titty bar.
Right.
That's what one of my children did.
If you're a good earner, you can kind of be, but you gotta be an associate.
You got to kick upstairs. Yeah. You got to kick upstairs. Ugh, I hate all that
Bring
shit.
Me an envelope every week. But it's just the ripple effect of like the tough guy, like the connected tough guy thing is like, I wonder how many more years that will go because like the mob is very different. I've heard now, like it doesn't, like they don't do any kind of murdering or anything because they're like, you go away for too long.
Right.
So they're really like, they're like cyber criminals and stuff. So
look, as long as you can still see like Goodfellas, on HBO on demand.
Yeah.
Or it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like people,
the glorification of that whole like,
and people really, especially when you get out of New York, people really like lean into it. Like if you're in Florida,
oh god,
you'll meet a bunch of people who are like, hey, you call this a fucking slice of pizza? Pizza? Come on, what the fuck? I gotta come from Delray Beach to hear you bust my balls here in Boca?
Yeah, I do you think there is something there of the like distance from New York, like the New York connection, and then the further away you get, the more it's like amplified.
Yeah, and
you're like they're in like Pompano Beach or whatever.
All they want is for people like when they're not around to talk to them, I'd be like, "Have you met Tony Goldfarb? God, he's so New York. He told us that the reason why the baked goods are so good in New York is because of the tap water. That's why he said. That's why he always says our bagels aren't good down here. But he's a hothead. But you know how they are.
But we're fucking stupid for not having the right water, so it's really our fault. It's like, what is that? What they think is happening when they leave the room?
What did Tony say? He said he wouldn't eat our pizza because it has alligator piss in the water. And God, did we laugh? He's
very poignant.
He's very coarse and crass. But we think he's very genuine.
But it's endearing.
Yeah, it's very exactly
it's authentic.
Well, it's like it's like Donald Trump or whatever. Hey, by the way, if you follow Instagram, it's at Brian M Show. We have a very scintillating review of the Apprentice, which is the Donald Trump movie. I won't get into it again. We should probably jump over. Is there anybody to talk to or not really?
People are chit chatting.
Okay. Just say hi to anybody. Should we just pick a name?
I mean, we can just let's say hi to our boy Paul.
Paul
Dave Sarah.
Oh, okay.
Comedian Dave Sarah.
Oh, hi, comedian Dave Sarah.
Bob. I don't know. I guess we're not doing last names really, so I won't. We got FKA Miami.
Okay.
Up in Yin.
Okay. All right.
Joe Scott. We're just saying hi to some folks.
Just saying hello to everybody.
I was raised college roommate. Them kind of some names here that I haven't really seen.
Good.
Oh, our boy Nick.
Hello, Nick.
He says, "What's up, my putas?" That's some sort of
we are
Latino slang.
Latin horse. Okay, one more thing I got to say before we go, and then we'll jump over because we have some fun stuff to talk about on the bonus show. So one of my big ideas when I was thinking about stuff for Howard is I thought we could reach out to a massage girl.
Okay.
And we could take him to a place and just like walk him to the door, but not like an Asian place, because I don't think he'd even like be able to find the door or something. I don't know. He might get.
Well, we could help him find the door.
It might take him an hour.
You want to get him a massage?
It would take him an hour to get all his jackets off. It'd be like,
time
over. It took you 54 minutes to take jackets off. Right. Hi.
He's only down to his vest.
Yeah. He's like, I'm ready for my table shower. She's like, bye. See you later. See you later. See you later. Goodbye now.
Is there one that's really close by?
So here's what I did. Okay, so I went on bed page, and I just I skimmed the surface of this idea. I mean, it's been rolling around my head for a while because we thought we had a sponsor, and then the sponsor is not around, which is fine. Whatever. I don't know. Somebody said they were going to pay for this, and then they didn't. So that's okay. Maybe they'll come back and they'll show up. If they do, we'll still use that money to do something for Howard. So don't worry. We're not. It will not go unused, and we'll get you the receipt. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Excuse me, Asian sex trafficked prostitute massage girl. Can I get a receipt for this for Gustav? Gustav wants a receipt. So anyway, I found, and I thought the idea was, I looked right around because there are Asian massage parlors around here, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to find one of these like Russian or individual places. So there's a place, believe it or not, right here by my, like, I mean, when I tell you 2 blocks away, it's 2 blocks away. It's 1 block up, 1 block over.
Okay.
So I actually called them this morning.
You got a quote?
And well, here's the funny thing. So
call the insurance company.
Yeah, my neighbor was like, "I'll pay. Don't worry, I'll pay." He's like, but I'm only paying for a hand job. I'm not paying for a rim job. And she puts her finger in your ass. That's your nickel.
Yeah.
Okay. Only what you came in there with. But anyway, I come out with like a cookbook, like and some tchotchkes. He's like, would you hit the gift store on the way out? Jesus, I'm not paying for that stuff, Brian. Anyway, so I found this place. I went on Bed Page and I searched Upper East Side, and some places popped up, and this one place comes up, and it's like stunning Eastern European beauties.
Okay,
ultimate service, blah blah blah. So like, I called. I was like, let me see what's going on here. So I called it like 9:30 this morning, and you can always,
wow, it's early.
Oh, dude, you can always tell when you're calling like a weird burner phone too. It was like the phone. It was like the phone rang in Moscow. It was like, brr, 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 brr. So I just picked. Some girl picked up. Hello. I said,
hello.
Hi, hello. This is Russian girl. Hello. Hand jobs are us. If you want a hand job, you come to the right
in
place.
Russia, hand job you.
Yes.
Like she's like doing Yakov Smirnoff.
In Russia, you get the hand and then you wait in line for job. Okay. So who here is from Vladivostok? Anybody here from Ural Mountains? Oh, my wife is from Chernobyl. I complain, but I like 4 tits on a girl. Okay, now who's next? All right, that was actually not a bad Ukrainian.
Yeah,
Chernobyl
that went
joke.
over my head though. I don't,
because Chernobyl has all the Russian radiation. So the idea is your wife has
the
more
radiation
tits.
get extra titties.
Yeah.
Sure.
My son has Down syndrome. They go, why? He has Down syndrome? I go, no, he's from Georgia Caucasus. Okay, seriously, don't forget the waitress.
Mm-hmm.
No, forget her. She's my cousin.
People putting their glasses down.
You hear people putting their Russian nesting dolls back together. Someone's like, I missed the middle one.
Yeah, they always bring those to shows.
Yeah, they really do. Try my table.
Kind of weird.
Table of Russian nesting dolls. Anyway, so I call and some girl picks up.
Sure.
She goes, hello. And I said, hi. I said, and I love to like over explain, because I'm such a weirdo. And I said, this is an exploratory phone call. I said, I'm curious to know when you open and what the rates are, and if you have availability, like just kind of any time, or do I need to call in advance? And she goes, we open 11 o'clock. We have 2 girls today, one from Kazakhstan and another from Ukraine, which I think is really funny because imagine if I was like, well, I don't want the girl from Kazakhstan. She seems weird. Like, who even knows what that means? That's like, I don't even,
it's a white or a different kind of white,
or
just
something.
2 kinds of white.
It's just some kind of weird satellite country outside of Russia. But it was funny. I'm like, I don't know if I want the Ukrainian or
what? You mean Kazakhstan is what?
Yes. Did I say that?
You said like Kazakhstan.
Oh, Kazakhstan. Sorry.
So Kazakhstan or
the Ukraine.
Or the Ukraine. I think you got to go Ukraine.
No,
right?
I wouldn't.
In these times.
I think no. What?
She's probably got to send money back to.
Yeah, but
family.
I don't want to be sad. She's over there like trying to jerk me off.
No, she's gonna tug it like her fucking life.
No, she's trying to jerk Howard off, and like Howard's like, "Why are you so sad?" She's like, "Oh, my brother got shot by many."
No, also Howard does have some opinions, some political opinions. So maybe the Ukraine would not be the best.
Yeah. I got to get somebody from like Siberia or some sort of. I got to look up Inuit. I want a nice Eskimo hand job place. So anyway, well, listen, now that we have Audrey Hollander, not that she's a Russian hand job lady, but we have enough of a sexy thing.
It'll be a little different. It won't be quite, maybe.
Although we're going to have some wind down.
You never know.
We'll see what happens. If anybody can.
She's a professional.
We'll do our best. So we're going to bounce over. Oh, I hate that. Sorry. We're going to go over to the the bonus show now. So again, I encourage you, if you're on the Patreon, join the Patreon. We really love the support. We've gotten some numbers recently, but trust me, they could be more.
It's fun over there.
It does get fun. And there's
like
you have like hundreds and hundreds of hours of content that you can only find.
Ringtones, videos, skits.
Yeah. I told somebody that I have an OnlyFans the other day, and they almost fell out of their chair. I was like, well, it's only because some stuff we did was too dirty for.
That's not. I don't even know if that's active anymore. I feel like I tried to get into that. It was like,
oh really?
Fucking.
They closed it down because it was too. It's like one of those it's like a wound that healed, like Wolverine. It healed its own wound.
I mean, I couldn't even log in. Well, I think that they're pretty serious about the upkeep of things over there. So if you're not active, or if you're not, you know what I mean? If they feel like you're not like really the person, because we were using video like movies that you would produced or whatever.
right,
So
right,
I
right.
don't. I think
Okay.
that was.
All
But you
right.
can get more. The thing is, you can get a little more dicey on Patreon, so we can just kind of do it on Patreon.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot. We're gonna do our best to make it as fun as we can. So thank you everybody for watching and certainly for listening and do all that like and subscribe shit. Even if you've liked before, just like every show. Who cares? If you have a minute to do it, it does. For some reason it helps. Every show I listen to. Although one thing I fucking annoys the shit out of me.
What's that?
I like that show Your Mom's House, with Tom Segura and his wife Christine, and I happen to listen to it's called Two Bears One Cave, and it's him and Bert Kreischer, and like I don't mind. Number one, those guys do so many live reads. I'm like, enough. Like, I mean, I already pay for YouTube Premium, but it's like, but
Bert now we got to hear about athletic greens.
Okay, yeah, but Bert Kreischer comes on, and I've never been more. Well, I've been grossed out, but I was so grossed out. He comes on, he's like, "Hi," he's like, "You ever when you work out? When I stop working out, I smell like a goat. Coastal deodorant is the only deodorant that has active enzymes." And he's starting to like read this copy about fucking deodorant, and then he goes, "And their collection, they have sandalwood, and they have aqua mist, and they have fucking this." And I'm like, listen to this. I'm like, there's nothing less funny than hearing somebody who's trying to do like a funny show now try and sell me. It's available at Target and online, and follow them on Instagram at Never Smell or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I just was listening to this. I'm like, geez, you guys, it's okay to leave some money on the table. It's okay to have a little bit of like, to say, like hymns, the fucking milk, with those blue chews and shit. That's all fine. But like, then he was like, scent of the month. Like, I've really gotten into cologne. Like, oh God, shut up. Ugh, I want to fucking kill myself.
I mean, isn't that kind of just Bert Kreischer in general, though?
Yes.
Like,
I mean,
I've never been able to get past his neediness.
Yes, it's a lot
to like even see that there's. I'm sure he's probably funny in some way, but
people love him.
I haven't really been able.
I would like to have his success. So I guess I sound like a real hater. Oh my God. I watched a political show on YouTube, and I did a comment. This guy, Brian Tyler Cohen, who's pretty well known. It's a pretty big show. One of those libtards I keep my eyes on. You're
just doing it to make,
I got to see what those
make
woke,
sure they're staying in line.
Those woke faggots are up to. But I like this show, but he's on this show, and he had some lawyer on the show. And this Brian Tyler Cohen guy, he wears like a suit or something. He's wearing a hooded sweatshirt. I don't like hooded sweatshirts. He's wearing a hooded sweatshirt with like the strings hanging down in the hood, which I find distracting. Mm-hmm. And the other lawyer is a very smart guy, and he's been on the show before. He's wearing a hooded sweatshirt with the little strings, and his says champion on it in like big, the champion logo. Yeah. It's like a switch. And I don't think he's wearing it like as a way to sell it, like Bert Kreischer and his cologne, but it's just what he's wearing. So I would like to say, if anybody on these political shows I listen to, like, don't wear a short sleeve shirt and don't wear a hooded sweatshirt. I can't be the only person who finds it distracting. So I commented, I never do this.
I was going to say you should comment on it because they're not going to hear it here, but.
Oh, how dare you?
Well, what are the chances that they watch?
Over 5,000 subscribers, I'll have you know. And 5,000.
Mostly political and commentators.
Oh, yeah. It's we're the Beltway is buzzing at 3:00 every Friday.
All right.
Here's what I did. I actually did comment, and I put something along the lines of, I think this show is great, because I want to like get that in there. And then I put, but I have to say, I find these hooded sweatshirts distracting. They're dressed like 13-year-olds. Right. So immediately some guy's like, yeah, what they're wearing, that's what's important. Yeah. Okay. So, and then somebody else goes, but then some other woman, she goes, you know what? I agree with you. I think they are distracting.
Yeah, of course. That's the comment. And that's still engagement. And that's still good for them.
And then I actually immediately went, I said, yeah, you got big tits.
You wrote ASL question mark.
ASL.
No, but I do think like that does happen where you get like, well-to-do, like a guy that's a lawyer or whatever. And it almost kind of reminds me of like a cosplay. So you would like, look at how casual I am. Like, look at how like not buttoned down. I'm like one of the cool ones.
And also,
I don't know.
I understand. There are those hooded sweatshirts, like the really expensive ones, like a cashmere one, where the hood like lies flat on your back, but not the ones that come up around your shoulders. That like
it's like a cowl.
Yeah, it's like way too much fucking. It's a lot of hood. Like, what do you
fabric?
What do you do with that? I remember I whenever I see a kid with like their hood on, I immediately want to shoot them, like that Mexican guy in Orlando. Never hear about that anymore. George Floyd, never forget. Floyd Merriweather. Never forget.
Floyd Mayweather. I don't know what the
Floyd
fuck you're
Merriweather.
I don't know what you're talking
Right,
about.
that's probably a good time to stop.
Yeah, let's get
everybody.
on out of here.
Thank you. We speak your name, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
And it's Wednesday this week. It'll be tune in Wednesday about 1.
Wednesday about 1 o'clock. I told her to show up at 1 o'clock. So
okay, so maybe 1:30. But yeah.
And okay, we're gonna go bonus
back,
show,
and then if you want to join the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Brian McCarthy, or you can join on YouTube if you want.
Spoiler alert! I want to talk about having to get my taxes to UPS. Boy, that was a pickle. All right, when we come back.
Yikes.
Bye.
Okay, bye.